it. Hola. Hey, everybody. Yes.
Another Friday.
Friday.
Another Friday.
Yes.
Game's all back.
Another 4 hours. Praise them.
Yeah.
Happy Friday, y'all.
Else today.
So if you all weren't here last week, Dwight's not in jail anymore.
Goodness. Free Dwight. Free Dwight.
Free Dwight.
Was that a call from our parole officer? What was that?
He works for the culture.
Yes, he's right here. He's
I was
right
about
here.
to put something on your books.
He's on the show.
Appreciate
Me
that.
too.
Appreciate
Me too, sir.
So we appreciate you taking one for the team.
Well,
Yes,
listen,
we do.
I'm here to remind you of two places you need to stay out of. Out of my business and in your lane, okay? The boy was preaching. I damn near grabbed my Bible last week. I ain't gonna lie. I was going to play too much.
We need that clip. Where's that clip?
God damn, that boy was preaching.
Bobby gotta get it. Bobby
We
got
gotta get that. It was hot. It was hot.
Bobby.
Dwight, what was the energy in the room?
Oh, it was palpable. I mean, you know, like a lot of the people who were there, 10 years ago, the Dream Defenders took over the Capitol for 31 days. And so a lot of that energy was in the space around like, how long we going to be here? How long, where are we going to take this? What are the next steps? So it felt good. And, you always, we talk about the role of ancestors and what they play. So like being in that spirit, being in that same kind of energy where you're doing it for a righteous cause is dope. So I was happy to do it.
Dante crazy.
Why, Dante?
That's wonderful. That's wonderful, Dwight.
I heard you had a lot of support, Dwight, too. Yeah.
I mean, listen, I knew the book money was coming thanks to the culture. You know what I'm saying? Like,
I think you're still waiting on your op-ed. That's what I'm
facts.
Yeah.
Facts. I mean,
I'm just saying, we're waiting for it.
We're waiting for the headshot. That's what I want because I want to put it on a t-shirt. You know what I mean?
Well, I heard that they already have the headshot. We won't call it, the hug shot. We got the hug shot.
The thug shot. That's
about the hug life.
Yes. Now, is it true that he gave the teachers a raise?
Like, come on, spill it. Spill the tea, man.
Yeah, this is information I need to know. So
We're the ones that ban the books.
So the claim that DeSantis is making is that for the last 4 years, teachers have gotten a raise. The truth of the matter is, every year the budget goes up. So every year the amount of money that goes to education, including teacher salaries, technically goes up. But we're also living in inflationary times. Mm-hmm. So it doesn't equal out to a real raise. You know what I mean?
It's not really relative is what you're saying.
So it's a raise, but not a raise.
Right. Exactly.
It's just a cost of living increase. That's all.
Basically. And it's not even so much that, you know what I mean? Like, it's not even like a deliberate COLA increase or cost of living increase. It's just the nature of having more tax revenue and therefore spending more money. So,
and if I might add to that, we're actually about to be in I guess, a even not necessarily a deficit, but there are going to be several things cut back because the Esser funds are rolling back. And those of you that aren't familiar with Esser was granted to all public schools due to COVID. So we had a lot of extra funds. We were able to hire extra personnel. We had extra programs that were implemented and things like that. And rolling into the 2023-2024 school year, Esser will be no longer. So that is going to hugely impact everything.
Can I ask a budgetary question, please, real quick? So it's been widely reported that in Dade County that there's a deficit of teachers, and like in the state of Florida that they don't have the same number of personnel. So if that's the case, wouldn't that balance out the budget, so to speak? Because if you're not paying the same level of personnel, you should have, or it seems to me that you would have excess funds. And if that's not the case, if that's not the case, I'm just asking, well, then explain to me why that assertion would be incorrect.
Because essentially what happens is, so now that I don't have two of you, you are now going to do your work and their work, and you're going to receive the same one pay. And that actually happened to me personally. So,
I like Dwight Luther.
Yeah. I mean, that's all it is.
That part.
They're not shooting any additional dollars your way.
Wow. So they won't say like, hey, we got this excess money, you can use it XYZ, whatever.
Okay. That's the government way. They try to do more with less.
Oh yeah.
And more importantly, there's limitations on the amount of money. And then to exacerbate that even further is a number of the bills that were passed this past year that will take effect on July 1st are going to withdraw more money from the, you got universal vouchers that were passed. You got limitations on.
Oh my gosh. Did you see the workers?
Yeah.
The work sites.
Yes.
Because of the immigration bill.
Yes. Oh my gosh. So if you're not here in Miami and you are oblivious as to what we're talking about, what is it? Title what?
42?
Yep, 42.
42.
Oh, I was waiting for the senator to say stuff.
Oh,
Jackie
sorry.
Robinson.
I don't know.
Team Battle had it. So
okay. So Title 42, it was repealed. Why?
So Title 42 is not the real issue with the video you saw. So Title 42 was a Trump administration immigration policy, that was archaic, problematic. Biden's now replaced that with a different policy, somewhat problematic. But the real issue on the state level was House Bill 1617, Senate Bill 1718, which basically criminalizes any company that has over 25 employees, where some of those employees may have been undocumented. So the bill itself now says that if you employ, house, or have in your car someone that is undocumented, you face a felony. And so therefore, those individuals, even before the bill was signed, and the bill was signed, I think, on Wednesday, and it doesn't take effect till July 1, but those folks were just like, you're not going to catch me in the streets on somebody's work site when you're going to basically tell me that I'm going to be subject to arrest.
Right.
It even goes further, saying that hospitals now are going to be required to ask for people's papers.
When they're treating them? When they're treating them?
Before. So when you show up in the emergency room, the expectation is that, where it used to be, you couldn't ask for that. Now the state is saying you have to ask for that. And then basically to deny people health care because of their immigration status.
You know,
what are the guidelines for
let
that?
me I'm going to juxtapose it just a little bit. While that is, I understand that that's a law and that we should only be allowing citizens with jobs. There was this court case out in LA. Lady, a nurse, used her car and ended up killing 6 people. It came out that she was actually mentally incapable of making rational decisions. She was a traveling nurse. The conversation was, shouldn't you have to report to the DMV whether or not you are, I guess, clear thinker, or I don't know, that there isn't anything.
Incapacities.
Yes. And the interesting part was that you don't have to have a mental competency test when you purchase guns.
No.
Right.
But you have to prove that you're a citizen to go to the hospital to get help.
Right. And to add to that, they also passed a law dropping the age to 18 now. So
to be able to
you don't have to be 21 to get a gun anymore. You can be.
It's not going to stop anybody.
18.
Wait, 18 to get a handgun?
To get a gun, period.
It's not going to stop anybody. Here's the interesting part. We're talking about denying people healthcare. With the prices of healthcare, you're already denying them. The healthcare system is not doing anybody a favor at all.
But then
Yeah, but at least you will receive treatment.
Right.
Miles.
Even while your leg is off your body, I can't treat you unless you show me papers.
Miles, I've had the opportunity to work with 3 different hospitals. And let me tell you something, and we know this as well as anybody, based off your age, your gender, you might not even if you have health insurance, may not even receive adequate help.
That is partly true, and I don't disagree with that assertion. But what I'm saying is, Roy, like it's one thing to pat you on the back, and tell you to go on your merry way, and then it's a whole nother thing to say, homeboy, it ain't nothing we could do. Those are 2 different levels of dynamics.
It may be, but you're essentially saying the same thing or denying it one way or the other.
My question is, how are they regulating that? Like, so is it just everybody that comes, or how are you going to determine who to ask for papers?
Right.
And who not to?
It's selective.
Or is everybody
like, oh, do you look the part? Like, you
right.
So now I'm going to ask you, are you
I've seen it. I've seen it. It's selective.
That's what's going
If you're speaking too much Creole or you're speaking too much Spanish, but then
it also depends on where you're at. Speaking too much Creole, speaking too much Spanish.
Absolutely.
Yeah, you're right.
I was recently at Jackson Memorial, and there was nothing but Spanish and Creole being spoken. So now you're talking about fulfilling a lot of positions that probably maybe jobs, maybe people didn't necessarily quote unquote want, or that you couldn't necessarily depend on. Just an observation.
Well, the question was on social media at that job site, what citizens are now going to fill these positions?
Right. And he's right. He's right. He's 100%.
I believe, what were there, 20 workers when they said there were hundreds of workers that typically would be at that job site?
So now instead of the building being ready at the end of 2023, it's going to be ready at the end of 2025? Okay.
Maybe. Probably like 2030.
And Miles, I can tell you this, being previously in an HR position, sometimes it has a lot to do who's in charge with the hiring too. That depends on who's going to get those roles. So it might not even be the case of people don't want them jobs. Right. A lot of times it's the case of I'm gonna hire who I want to hire and bring them in.
Yes,
right. But agreed. However, the laws of supply and demand somewhat still are in full play, because you can't hire who doesn't apply. So what if? And I'm just speaking
That's not
hypothetically.
necessarily true, Miles.
I'm just saying hypothetically.
That's
What
not
if?
necessarily
What if
true.
I
people
agree,
aren't?
Dante.
What if they're not? What if those people aren't applying? What if they're not?
But
Hey,
sometimes
Dwight, don't you think
there's
that
always
what
ways to get
Dante
around the
said
system, Miles. That's
that
all I'm saying.
there's
I mean,
some
I agree with you, but some parts of it, people hire who they want to hire, and they don't necessarily fill out the paperwork to get them jobs.
Yeah. Yeah,
Right.
that's how it is.
Dwight, don't you think that comment was true that Dante said? He was talking about like that job site where you only have 20 people there and it required a few hundred. Now you are messing with people's livelihood because now you're not able to fulfill the job, which means that now you're not going to be able to get paid. It's a ripple effect. And I almost think that I think they almost spat in their face in the wind and it came right back on their face by trying to say that you can't work here.
Well, I mean, to your point, Jessica, this is some, you have a bunch of frankly racist folks making policies solely on this moralistic crusade that they're on to quote unquote save the country from wokeism or whatever I want to say, because that's the problem that gets created is you're talking about an economy that they have the numbers where you have companies that were hiring people who may have been applying for green card, may have been here undocumented, may have been documented, etc. But we're basically hiring folks, cooking the books, doing things, kind of under the radar, that now you're creating laws that endanger that person from even getting to the work site. Like, understand what the bill, the bill goes even further. That says if you're caught in a car, again, let's say you're one person. Let's say I'm an Uber driver and I got 4 construction workers in the back seat with me. This law says that if I get pulled over, you find out that the 4 folks I got in the car are undocumented. As the Uber driver, I could face a felony. You understand what I'm saying? Like, it's that kind of, alarm ringing that people are really concerned about. So you're talking about folks that have been basically flying below the radar that are now saying, I don't want to leave my house.
Right.
Let me ask you this. So does this mean that the people that come to work at your house?
Yes.
Yes. The answer
is
is
just stop along the way.
But
That's what
I'm
it means.
saying, are they gonna come to your house?
it's even deeper than that. What I mean, so here's the thing. Here's the general. Let's say you're not checking for whatever reason.
No, I'm not checking. Nobody's
you
checking at their house.
You just minding your business. If a neighbor decides they want to call the cops on you and be like, Jessica got somebody at her house, and somebody does a spot check at your crib because you're the homeowner, Jessica, you now face the potential wrath of the law because you knowingly or unknowingly are quote unquote harboring someone who's undocumented. And to make things even worse, they stole that language from the fugitive slave law of 1850. Like, that's how deep in the bag they had to go to create that law. Was they had to pull up the 1850 Fugitive Slave Act and be like, what's that language look like?
But the funny thing is,
that sounds good to use in 2023.
The funny thing is, when they talk about the immigration laws and stuff in the country and stuff and enforcing them, they're not referring to South Florida, because the South Florida immigration policy is totally different. The South Florida immigration policy excommunicates all brown, or all black.
Yes, that's what he's saying.
Yes,
That's exactly what we're
saying. You're going to jail.
I can't.
That's right.
But now that we got taken off air,
Thank God my kitchen is done.
But yeah, but it doesn't apply down to South Florida, because they send all the Haitians back and Cubans get to come in now.
No, that's different. That's
now it's changed, but now they level the playing field after they allowed so many Cubans.
Everybody.
They let everybody in that was Cuban, and now they say, okay, now none of y'all can come in.
Look, and now the same ones that got in talking about, oh, they're against. I'm like, shut up.
Really? So,
Right.
so the wet foot that must have went over my head. The
You want to
wet foot
tell
drop
these
foot
good
policy has
stories
been
about
changed
people
now,
coming
right?
over, now you're against it.
Yeah, the wet foot drop it is done.
Done.
Yeah.
It's been done. It's been done for like a couple of years now.
Obama got rid of that.
Yeah, Obama got rid of it.
Yeah.
And that's why the
why
Cubans don't like
people like
Obama.
It's
Obama.
unfair.
So,
And
so
that's
what,
why
are
the
they gonna,
Cubans
Why
don't like
Cubans don't
Obama.
like
what are they
Obama?
going to do about the undocumented European immigrants that are here?
No,
You
they're
mean
European.
most of the undocumented people in the country. Quiet as kept. Like that's
That won't be a question. Okay, let's Bobby's in my ear. So that also takes us to the 10-year-olds working at McDonald's.
Oh.
What?
I thought you were
Listen,
going to talk
man.
about the person the kid who got burned working.
Listen,
Oh, yeah.
man. Times are
Yeah,
hard. Everybody got to get a
franchisee
job.
had two
Did they get
10-year-olds
burned working? Or is that why it came up where they saw them working the night shift at 2 a.m?
Okay.
And someone's like, what's up with
So when you say working, you mean like on
this? They were working on the fries.
they weren't like
They were
on
making the
shift,
Big Mac.
They
Working.
were getting paid
They were
under
working.
That and all, bib and
No,
all.
they were getting paid.
And the
They
burger
were
taking
on some
out
ice cream
the-
machine.
And they were flipping the
Now
burger.
you told the ice
and
machine
bringing out
machine
hot
broke.
fresh
They
fries.
never work. They don't never work.
Ebony, actually, that's
They broke
pretty
it. The
good
kids
news
broke
for
it.
you, because that means that
Yeah,
you can
150
send baby girl to work when she get to be about 5. You know, she ain't gotta go to kindergarten. We could just
And actually, Ari, they weren't at 152nd because the 152nd line be long to the mud.
yeah. They need all the help they could get over there, Richmond Heights. So yeah,
This
What?
week,
Ebony,
make
shoot,
the
good
burgers
news for you.
and fries.
I might try to get one out of Tasha now. Some extra
And they
income.
probably
to the
figured out how
family.
to make the machine work. That ice cream machine is probably working now because they were there.
It's probably not broken. The 10-year-olds ate all the ice cream.
Y'all making fun of child labor laws that have been broken. That's all I
yeah.
want to know.
No. But
terrible.
that's the thing, Roy. It is part of a larger issue. A lot of states just threw out child labor laws. Arkansas, Kentucky, Alabama. You know, a lot of southern states just basically decided to get rid of their child labor laws, and so now we're seeing the after effects of that.
So where is this McDonald's located?
I thought it was in Florida.
Another state. No, it was another state.
No, that wasn't in Florida.
Arkansas, Mississippi.
Look, not this
Ooh,
time.
Right.
We
Look,
do
not
a
this
lot,
time.
but that one wasn't us.
Yeah, that was the one. That was the one law that didn't pass.
Right. Hey, Zeno, what's the deal?
What up?
This
Yeah.
next story
That's
just kind of completely blew me. Did you see on social media Jamie Foxx's daughter gave? You saw it, Belinda?
When she said he was at home.
Yes. Not only was he at home, has been at home for weeks.
Playing pickleball.
Right, that part.
Yeah, that part.
That part.
That he's at home and has been playing pickleball. He's not in.
Dana, what's this? Would you do?
Yeah,
do that
Dana's
with
not
your
paying
Dana?
attention.
I'm just happy to see he's doing better.
Oh, Dana said he's looking down. Dana.
That's you.
That part, like, right.
Mhm.
Right. He playing pickleball. Right.
Right.
I don't comprende the pickleball.
I mean, she could have picked any sport. Why did she choose pickleball?
Well,
But she didn't have to even ask
Fastest growing
that.
sport in America right now, Belinda.
right.
She just said he's been home.
Fastest growing sport in America.
You ain't lying. Pickleball, man, they got that was on TV the other
And the
day.
champions, yeah.
Look. Until we take it over.
You know you done made it when ESPN start covering you. When ESPN start
Right.
covering you, you done made it.
Dana, you done
made
said
it.
it. Dana,
No,
you said it.
Miles. What it is, they created another sport before we dominate that.
Yeah, look.
Whatever you want to call it, sir.
They're running out of sports.
Look.
Hey boy, hey, but they got curling locked.
Yeah, we don't like that ice.
I think the daughter's lying.
Yeah, she is.
I I don't
Yeah.
know. I just.
What y'all doing when he was
Was
out
he
there with you?
filming? Aaron, you talking about now or
Because
before
here's the
he went to
thing.
the hospital?
I read a story. I don't know how true it is, but I read a story that prior to this incident or this medical emergency, that he was filming, that he was working on a film, and that he had to come off the set, and that in order to finish it, I guess the crew decided to use a stunt double instead of waiting on him.
Right.
So it's like, if we're talking about a time frame, him being home, that kind of thing, something does seem a little bit suspicious. But I mean, she could be telling the truth, because I mean, Miss Markins is one that says that in Hollywood is highly weird. You never know what's going on, so it's possible.
Well, she never said that he physically was out in the backyard playing pickleball either. He could have been playing a video game.
Right.
He could have had the things on. What you call it?
Right.
The virtual reality thing. Yeah.
Oh, speaking of, who was that dropped that video of old boy getting arrested?
Who?
Talking about he need to call his mama.
Oh, your friend. I mean,
don't do that.
You're going too far. Too far.
Who's getting arrested?
Bobby.
Bobby.
I know Bobby don't have that picture. Bobby don't have that picture.
So who's getting arrested?
The boy from BMF.
Oh, Meech.
Lil Meech.
Oh, he was at the airport. He was at the
That's
airport
right.
again?
That's right. They did put that one in the chat.
Yeah,
they said, Ms. Markins, please get your friend, get your.
What? I didn't know that was the same story from earlier.
When was he arrested?
It's a new story or old story?
It's a new story.
It was just added yesterday. I don't know. Yeah. What was yesterday?
What is he doing? What did he
do? His travel companion.
He flies out every week.
Where was his travel companion? He
I
always
don't know. Next story. I'm not real comfortable with the story. Can y'all move along to the? Yeah, I'm not feeling real comfortable right now.
Okay. Now they issued a statement, but
I'm
not really sure how true this is. Versus is coming back.
We need the original Versus.
And Jermaine and Puffy are going to be battling one another.
Diddy announced it, but Diddy listen.
Oh, Janae.
Wow.
Diddy listen. Jermaine Dupri will tear Diddy apart. That's all I'm gonna say.
No, he will. Like Jermaine's catalog. Jermaine's catalog.
I'm gonna need y'all to stop that.
Yeah.
No, are you kidding me?
I'm gonna need y'all to stop that.
Miles.
I need y'all to stop that.
No,
I'm gonna need y'all to stop that.
Writing, produced, and rapped.
I'm gonna need y'all to stop that.
The Brat, Lil Bow Wow, Escape.
I'm gonna need y'all to
Mariah
stop.
Carey,
Who's gonna win the dance off?
I
mean, Diddy got that. Diddy got that.
No, that's how Jermaine Dupri got in the business.
I'm gonna need y'all to every time we have this debate, it gets out of hand.
Out of breath.
Jermaine Dupri's catalog.
Y'all just watch the Verses, okay?
When is it?
Jeez.
Yeah, that's what I was saying. They said they're gonna battle, but Timberland said that they're working on it behind the scenes. They haven't even announced that they're coming back yet.
It's gonna happen on February 31st. Yeah, it's not gonna happen.
It's gonna happen.
February 31st.
Diddy against Jermaine Dupri is having a fair fight.
Somebody asked me, when is that gonna happen? February 31st.
You better put some respect on Bad Boys.
Miles, it's not a fair fight.
It's about as fair as it's gonna be. You better stop that.
No.
Diddy got some stuff.
Right?
No, Diddy got some hits, but I don't measure up to JD.
It's not long though.
He's gonna have to bring out Mary and
he'll have to have a hologram of Biggie.
Right, he's gonna have to bring out Biggie and stuff like that. But I mean, don't get me wrong, both of them got hit. I'm not saying
Jermaine Dupri might bring out Crisscross. We don't know.
Gotta bring out crisscross.
I'm just saying, I think Jay-Z's catalog is longer than
the other thing that y'all fail to realize.
What is it?
Y'all are comparing catalog for catalog. That's not my debate. My debate is that if you're taking JD's top 20 or whatever you want to say, and you're taking,
but why would he take his top 20?
That's a fair fight. That's a fair fight. Like he gonna have to. Y'all better put some respect on Bad Boy's name, man. Y'all better stop that.
Man.
Okay, cut it out.
Young Miami is not happy about that.
You should stay home,
Hey, Miles, don't make me go into Tupac. Man, Bad Boy has a record label and has a staff.
That's a
with them.
If you down with Bad Boy, you too. Chino XL, you too.
My folks, make sure y'all kids don't broke.
Just like when we went to our Jeezy concert, I proclaim Team Snowman all day.
I already know.
Yes.
I'm proclaiming I'm Team Bad Boy. Yes, I am. I'm riding with Diddy.
Nah,
Look, my mistake is if that's what you claiming, don't get starstruck. Because when Snowman was right next to you, you didn't want to even post up.
I didn't want to bother him. I don't do that, Jessica. I don't do that.
Miles, you had a t-shirt on, you had the baggy pants, and you look like a stunt double. You might as well have.
I don't do that. I don't bother stars when I see him out.
Right there.
I know he
wanted to be with us. He wanted to be with us. I mean,
Not only that though. Not only
him, everybody
was trying to be with us. His extended family, but I ain't gonna do that.
Miles, you have to treat him like you treated Fred Taylor, and it was like, when I see you,
when I see you, Miles is like this.
Here we go, everybody. I was a little shocked. I didn't expect to see Freddie on the show that day, but
I was like,
I think that y'all are making
nobody on the show if y'all not gonna act right.
I think this is conjecture.
It's not gonna happen.
Hyperbole and gross exaggeration. Conjecture.
Fred, where? Well,
here you go.
Bobby, you're gonna have to run that tape back. You gotta run that tape back. Wow. Yeah, this was a good one.
Yes, I heard.
Babyface was like, wait a minute, Miss Anita. Now, I'm not really sure what you did with Luther Vandross. I'm not really sure what you did with In Vogue. I'm not sure what you did with Lonnie Love, but I'm gonna have to go ahead and put my statement out.
But okay,
I thought it was a fake account when I saw it.
The people say it was not Anita. The promoters asked him.
Babyface, you call Babyface a liar?
I'm just saying, I'm here for the people. I'm telling you what
he says. I was asked not to perform. He didn't say she asked me not to perform.
Right.
See? She said I was asked not to perform.
Thank you, Belinda. Being is fundamental. So,
but to give her space.
It does say give her space, though.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna say anything bad about Anita Baker.
Anita is my all-time favorite.
Well, all I gotta say is when she come on the radio, I turn it off.
Yeah, there's some bias on this panel about Anita Baker and Sade.
I turn it in. Sade, come on to turn it off. I am not trying to go to sleep.
Those are two what are you talking about?
First craziness right there.
I'm from Miami. I'm from when hip hop was called rap music. Okay, I
am too, but I love Anita is like
Carlos over there.
I will take Anita.
Right, that's the second thing. Carlos over Danny, and now you're talking about Anita and Sade are not it.
And all that, man. What's wrong with you?
We got questions about you.
Oh wait,
one place I never would have.
What else are you hiding from us?
I am so surprised that you are just finding out that I turn the radio off when Anita Baker comes on.
Just don't turn the radio off when Puff come on. That's all.
I love Puffy. I just said he
can't. Not like Sweet Love,
right?
And we calling out your name.
Yeah.
Because if you play it like 1,000 times, overkill.
You
I
too.
remember she has the volume way down.
Giving you the best
And
that I
show.
got.
Yeah.
Yo, sometimes unbalanced.
Shook
I
'em.
mean,
No,
Angel.
not 1 day or 365 days of the year. None of that. No.
okay.
You play
And
Anita
don't
Baker every
forget
day.
about those fairy tales. Mama,
I
Yeah.
like Anita and Sade. I be in my feelings. My wife turned that stuff off quick.
Yeah.
Man, when that bass line hit with Sade,
Roy, put your ear pods in. Your earbuds in.
Changing that. You changing that.
So that is turning that is going off.
Yeah,
I'm not doing that.
love.
Sing it to you.
Bobby,
That
where's
makes
Bobby?
me feel good. That
This
is not making me
is
feel good.
no
You
ordinary.
don't say that about Anita Baker.
That's right. Sing it to you.
I was so happy.
No,
I got
don't
to
sing
see
it
her
to
at Jazz in the
Jazz in the
Garden.
Garden, right?
Yeah,
Exactly.
like
Yep,
What?
I left.
Man,
was
where's
the
JD and
highlight.
Puffy?
I
They
was
need to put
like,
me on.
yes, thank God. I've been blessed
Yes,
to be
I
able to
left.
witness her live.
I left.
I can't
It's
believe
like-
you, Jessica.
Oh, you
It's
like
monstrous royalty. What?
That's good.
Hold on. When Anita came to Jazz, you walked out?
Left. Was gone.
What's the
Roy, you had to leave too?
What's
Yes,
the
he
beef?
did.
Enlighten us, Miss.
You my ride. You my ride. How am I getting home?
What's the beef with Anita Baker? Enlighten us.
I'm gonna go
Hey,
to
Roy, what you say?
Wow.
Hey, look, I like Anita Baker.
You know, if I
This
tell
some
you the
bull.
truth, you
I'm
bring
gonna
it out
walk
on
with you,
air.
but this some bull.
I ain't never going back to Jazz Gardens with you.
That is
I only did that one time, man. I only did that one
You
time.
can't hold water.
Hey, I only did
No,
that
he
one
can't.
time,
He
man.
cannot.
Listen, my wife did not leave.
cannot.
I got Anita Baker footage, okay? I
Okay,
want y'all to
okay.
know that.
That's what I'm talking about, Roy.
as you were walking out.
Wait.
God.
Filming it on the way out.
Yeah, but
How did it go?
Exactly. I'm like, what kind of footage you got of
So
Anita?
they just kept getting further and
I
further away.
started.
Because when she opened, that's why I
It
had
got
it.
smaller and smaller and smaller.
so
Hold on. I like that.
Angel was fading out.
Right, and the music started the Doppler effect. It started to shift.
Lord,
So we're getting some roasted
Lower,
corn, and in the
lower,
background you
They
heard.
thought Anita Baker was
Right.
one of the rotating things.
365 days. Yeah. Came on up.
Anita Baker, we love you. The majority of us love you.
Oh yes, Elon Musk. Two things about Elon. Elon said he is stepping down. He will no longer be the president at Twitter, and sent a nice tweet to Don Lemon and asked him, what's up? Come on over to Twitter and run your show. Like, what's the other one? Tucker.
I love you, but they ain't gonna win.
What's the guy?
Is
Tucker
Carlson?
Tucker Carlson.
Tucker Carlson, yeah.
Oh,
the
no,
the chick from MSNBC calls them Tuckums.
Tuckums.
I already offered him a job.
You see, I got my heat
What are you
stuff
talking
up.
about?
Can you see? I got all of my heat championship up.
What are you
I don't know
talking
about
I hear it. I see it.
Okay, you know what?
the name.
You go block
You just going on.
They have to be blocked today.
But he is.
She act like that's breaking news. That ain't
I
breaking
know.
news.
Hey,
Right.
Yeah.
He been came out.
Yeah, a long time ago.
I told you about that a couple weeks ago, today. Hold on.
You got to show
Hold on.
that
Hold on.
footage of Don Lemon.
You just trying to give me something to tell on news? Hold on. I'm sick of these bitches. Hold on.
John Lemon has a job with Rick Ross. He can't go to Twitter.
Don, did you say John?
What's his name? Don.
Don.
Yeah, already. He lost his job. I don't forgot him already.
What are you, Belinda? What
Yes,
story you
sir. Yes, sir. You renamed the man. You
You
renamed
know
him.
John Lemon. He was one of
John
the
Lennon. John Lennon.
Not dog, Belinda. A whole different
John
job.
Lemon has a job.
Dana, you talking
John
now?
Lemon has a job.
Dana? Dana?
You said John Lennon. Was
Right
that
now?
you?
You ready to talk now, Dana?
What's John Lemon?
Uh-oh, Dana. I think Belinda is talking to you.
But look, I'm. Well, I think she's talking through that glass. So if she talking,
All right, Dana.
Oh,
Who's this?
yeah. Bronny James.
Ronnie committed to USC.
He's going to college on a scholarship.
You guys want to bet how many years he's going to play?
One.
4 years.
One.
He's probably gonna play one game,
year.
get hurt.
One.
And then that way he can just go straight into the league.
One.
Wow.
He's actually got to produce at USC though.
No, he doesn't.
I'm actually
I
shocked
think
though.
so.
I'm shocked that he chose.
I think so.
I'm shocked that he chose USC because
Not
it was
me.
between USC and Oregon, and I thought he would go with the Nike, with the school that is.
He needed
right,
that
Josh.
shit.
So I thought that would be,
I'm not surprised. I'm not surprised because
This
the
is a
high
Nike
school
school,
he
too,
went to was in LA.
yeah, but still, Nike has bankrolled his family, and his daddy got a lifetime Nike
Daddy,
contract.
listen,
Oh wow.
And he got
2 years?
a NIL deal.
Yeah.
too.
You
Yeah.
think that LeBron can stay in the league for 2 more years for him to come?
Yeah,
to
he
the
should.
NBA?
Oh yeah.
That's what he gonna retire once he play with his son.
Yeah,
I guess it's
That's his thing. He wants to play with his son. Once he plays
No,
with his
I
son,
was. Did you see the comment? They
2
already
years.
said 2 years, and then I was saying, so do you
Wow.
think that LeBron can stay? I guess it would be 3 more years in the NBA to play with his son.
Yeah, absolutely.
They was
Yeah.
saying this was that he needed to just sit down after this year.
Hey,
Yeah.
Listen.
LeBron could be the first person to have a 30-year NBA career if he wanted to.
He invests a lot of money in taking care of his body.
Right.
Like,
He definitely does it.
Yes, that's what Rudy's talking about, like a few million.
yeah.
every year.
Josh,
When
they
I
have
see Blake Griffin on the end of the bench collecting checks, or no, even better, Haslam,
Yes.
yeah,
Haslam,
Yes.
yeah.
stealing
Hey,
money.
But I have a theory about you, Dita.
Lakers and
Remember,
I don't know what Mike's
remember,
talking
boy,
about.
when we got the big three, and
Right.
remember Udonis Haslam took the cut. Remember that
Yes.
Yes. No, that's why.
this
That's why they have him.
contract.
Yeah.
That's making that up to him.
Yeah, agree.
Yeah, I think that's the Heat way of making that up.
Hasn't got one of them Bobby Bonilla contracts. He can get there.
Look,
Listen,
Is there rumors of
listen.
him joining the
Yankees
coaching?
still
Is
paying
he
Bobby
gonna
Bonilla.
coach now?
it's the Mets and the Orioles still paying Bobby Bonilla.
Still
paying
paying
Bobby
listen,
Bonilla.
but I'm gonna tell you who also has
He
a great
should
deal
coach.
is
UD
Allen
should
Iverson's
coach.
Reebok deal is another great deal.
Yeah.
That's another great deal.
What's that? What's another great deal?
Allen
The Iverson.
Oh,
Iverson.
yeah. The Reebok deal.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. That
Somebody,
was,
somebody looked at Allen and said, "If we give you this $50 million now, you're gonna be broke. So we're gonna hold off."
That was the best. That was the best thing they ever did for him, though. That was the best thing they ever
Bubba
did.
Chuck would have spent that money.
Yeah. Oh, 100%.
Bubba Chuck would have spent that money.
100%.
Bubba Chuck would have blew that. Well, I'll never forget that one time we were in Hampton and we pulled up to this restaurant and there were 3 Bentleys in the parking lot. 3 Bentleys.
Unnecessary.
A burgundy one, a silver one, and a white one. I was like, oh, yeah. We go inside the restaurant. They got the whole bar. It's about 40 people.
It's generous.
There you
And
go.
he bought the whole
Dummy.
thing. Bill was somewhere up around like $4,000 or something like that.
Very
That's
generous.
cheap.
Yeah, it's not.
That was
Yeah, it
empty.
was.
And
That
like,
is
We're in
cheap.
Hampton, Virginia.
we're at
If
Applebee's.
if they were in Miami, that would have been 40,000.
That's what I'm getting at, Rose. That's what I'm
Yeah,
getting at.
no. That's
He,
what
hey,
I'm
he
saying.
got off cheap. It'd have been
telling
on the beach somewhere. That bill would have been upwards of $100
Add
grand.
another zero.
I was like, they know what they were doing.
Yes, they
But
did.
let's be
why
clear.
was
He
in his
also
hometown, so
spent that money on the beach too.
Right.
Yeah, he did. I'm sure he did.
Those are the
Virginia
warmers, right? Start
But
up.
everybody got an Allen Iverson story from when he was in the league.
Oh,
Oh,
100%.
is that who y'all talking about? Allen Iverson?
Yeah.
Yeah, because
Oh wow!
Exactly.
Let me tell you about it. Let me give you
Yeah.
an Allen Iverson
Yeah.
story.
Hold on.
AI.
So in the 90s when he was playing, he really was Allen Iverson, that's who it was. So it was my birthday weekend and he was our client. So he flew us to Chicago. Wasn't that who he was playing for? Was he
No.
playing? Okay, so then they were playing. What is the team in Chicago?
The Bulls.
Bulls. So we went to Chicago. It was for my birthday. And we went to eat in the restaurant in the arena. Let me tell you, the food was so good. The game started. Game is going on, and we're just eating. So by the time we finished, and we were drinking and everything, it was me and Keisha. So we got to our seats, it was like the third quarter. And this man was so livid because we're walking and our seats, they were like, it was courtside. So we're walking, we're like, excuse me. Oh my God, I cannot believe you are just getting to your seat. I turned around and said, this is not church. What are you talking about? Are you kidding me? This is not church. Yes.
Wow.
Roy is with the big eyes.
Yeah.
I think maybe he thought you were going to say something else, but that's
Right.
That's
We didn't know where the story was going.
The point
Bobby.
The point is that he
Just
was
in
very
case.
generous and he was nice. He gave we did the camp for him. He gave every kid who played Reeboks. It was a really good time. I will tell you this. He out of all the athletes that we worked with, he was probably one of the best because the other ones like Terrell Owens, T.O. or whatever.
Yeah,
that's April friend. That's
I
TT.
told y'all what we did with him.
You had to check him.
Just left the car running. No, nigga, you drive yourself. What are you doing?
Oh,
Now that we got censored, like now that we
Bobby was a generous dude, and he had a good kind of heart.
Yeah, he was
He
very
knew where
nice.
he came from and stuff.
But
He always gave back.
Financial advice.
Mhm.
He always
I
gave
think
back.
his mama was around. Was it his mama?
Yeah,
Yeah.
his mom was around.
Mhm.
Yeah,
Yeah.
she was, she was a teenage mom. So
When they reminisce over you.
Yeah. We went to somebody club.
shout out to
afterwards.
John Thompson for saving my dog.
What?
Right.
Hey, for saving him, and shout out to
Douglas Wilder.
the VA for trying to downtrodden the man.
Oh yeah, but I guess so. It's two. We got to give two shout outs. We got to give a shout out to John Thompson and a shout out to Douglas Wilder because he was the one
His
that
mama. Listen, his mama had the wherewithal to call John Thompson herself,
Right.
and like, I need your help.
Right.
Oh, wait, did you see that meme going around about AI?
Oh, saying that, yeah, that's the only AI we acknowledge. Yeah.
No.
I know
This is
that
talking
AI
about-
is going to replace the 300 million jobs. And it's a picture of Allen Iverson.
No, okay, we'll have to reshare it in the chat tonight. It was very humorous. So did you see this? The Kentucky Derby?
No.
Nobody watched it?
Yes.
And the fact that 7 horses.
Yeah, 7
Were
horses
killed?
died that week.
7 horses what?
Yeah, 7 horses died that week.
Oh.
You mean the week after, correct?
No.
That week.
That week.
Why did they die?
That's
Drugged
the
up.
Horses are injected with steroids.
We drugged up.
Yeah.
Well, no,
There were a few were euthanized because of
Yeah.
injuries.
a couple were euthanized
they-
because of injuries, and
They
then like
juiced them up. They animal cruelty.
so they were racing.
Where you been?
They were racing, and then
I don't know anything
they
about
were injuring themselves, and so when they injured themselves past beyond repair, they just go ahead and
Put them
chalk
out
it
the
up.
misery.
Matter of fact, the
I look like it fell out. Oh wow!
Who was fighting, Josh?
The horses were fighting.
the favorite pulled out because he had something wrong with his hoof, and they didn't want to risk it. So they
I didn't know it was drugs involved. I thought they just trained the horses.
Look at Ebony.
Nah,
It's not that simple, Rose.
Yeah, Eddie,
Not
the
that
last show
All I
that
know
ran
about the
got
Kentucky Derby is
disqualified
that
after
I
that.
would like to go. I know it's very expensive, and I just want to, get me a nice fascinator and outfit. And
I wrote that down for us for 2024.
Ebony,
but
you
then
want
I
to go
thought
everywhere.
about,
That's all I'm gonna say. That's all I'm gonna say.
Ebony,
everywhere, but
Ebony don't wanna be-
that is an
Ebony don't wanna be
experience
left
I would
at
like
home.
to have. But when I did do research, I never knew that the stand-in tickets were like still $4,000.
yeah.
Stand up,
Yeah, the entire time.
so, right?
The entire, say that, Belinda. Say that again. The entire.
So maybe she just a party.
But
Yeah,
That's what it is. It's really turned into just
It's just a big party.
Yeah, that's all. it
And
is.
then
It's a big party.
recently, I learned about the Black experience and influence on the Kentucky Derby, and I was very intrigued by that.
Yeah.
Well, I will tell you this on the Steve Harvey show when they were talking about the Derby, and nephew Tommy was asking about them going next year. They did discuss, well, we're going to have to try to get hooked up with some tickets.
Mm-hmm.
And then someone said, it's a black hookup for the Kentucky Derby.
That's funny.
That part. Yeah, I love it.
Now, I've never been to the Kentucky Derby, but the Preakness, I didn't see that, but I was around it.
Preakness?
Preakness.
It did sound like you said that.
We talked about Freaknik 2 weeks ago.
That's what we ever come out.
We talked about Freaknik.
Right.
Fix it.
And the videos and all of that stuff. I don't know how you.
Where you at, Latif?
Yeah,
So funny, man.
we talked about that one already.
All right, this show's officially
Right, Josh, right.
The freakness.
We make it up stuff. I make it up stuff.
Right.
When was the Freakness? Oh, I missed it.
I tell you, boy. African Americans, gotta love them.
Don't do that, Melinda.
There was a bunch of stallions there too. Don't worry.
Right.
Don't do that.
Exactly.
Some of them died.
They were in
Those
there beyond
were
there.
the pre-captain days. The pre-captain days.
Had to be put down.
What are you drinking again, Belinda? I'm just curious.
Right. Hey, that was the Rose. That was the time before he became the captain, but after Chess King.
Not Chess King.
Latif, do you have pictures?
Pictures of what? Of Chess King?
No, you have Freakness.
Of what?
Freakness. You have Freakness.
They want to know if you got pictures of the Freakness.
I said the Preakness.
I'm asking about your days at Freakness.
Okay, I was not at no Freakness.
Freakness is not a real thing.
Oh, God.
Have that next year.
I tell you what,
But they say you
I'll bring them on next show.
They tried to bring it back.
Okay. Send them to Bobby.
Freakness
All right, I'll put them in
2023
the
Nashville.
I'll have Bobby get my pictures too.
Keep going.
They tried to bring it back in Nashville, and my son actually attended.
Oh, really?
Yeah, he said he hated it.
He's supposed to tell you he hated it.
Right.
He really did.
Right.
Mom, it was yuck. It was horrible.
If you know him,
Daddy, let
he
me tell you
doesn't-
about them.
Yeah, so Crosby was out there in the first
he doesn't
place.
like crowds and stuff like that. So
And then
He's a bit of a different
left.
kid. He is. He's not.
Oh,
He,
yes,
hey,
Anthony
Roy. He not off the chain like you and I used to be. He's not like that.
yeah,
Not me.
Oh, stop it. There you go. There you go.
right, right.
Well, you know, back then I was at a predominantly white school, so you know I went.
That means it was worse. That means
Right.
it was worse.
Right.
That means it was worse.
There's no excuse, Roy. There's no excuse.
Did y'all even hear about these events at your school? Like, was that part of the conversation at your school that these things were going on?
What?
You know about these things?
Stop, Belinda.
What was the halftime show like?
I mean,
That was pre-internet. That was pre-internet, Belinda.
didn't know anything
As
about
soon as
it.
he walked on campus, they can hand him a beer bong. Like, dude, you got to do this, man. You got to do this, man.
Hey, you
No,
was
man,
like
he was
folks
the same
person,
friend.
so that's a whole
It
nother
It
level.
was a real bong. It wasn't.
What year?
Latif,
What year
don't try to
did you
change
get
the
the
subject because
freaking
you
stop?
freaky. No, let's okay.
We missed the
Oh,
picture.
yeah.
Bobby, I don't know if we have enough time to talk about this.
Yeah.
Ooh, this is United, the Negro
Hey,
baseball league.
boy. We had a great time, man. I mean, we
Yeah,
visited
so
the
all right,
museum.
George Brown.
He loves Roman grass.
Oh my God.
Set it up.
Hey,
We saw the ninjas, and we had the barbecue.
right. We saw the Ninja Museum.
Right.
We had barbecue. And he was like, and he kept going like he really said.
And the guy sitting next to him.
Yeah, he was just.
He was like, yeah.
The guy was like, oh.
Hey, he had a smoke on his face like, you finna get fired. But
You know what? Here's the thing. That wasn't his first time. That happened in 2020.
Exactly.
You get ready to get fired.
What were his consequences? What happened?
But I'm glad I didn't say it. I can just agree with it and be okay.
Right.
Yeah, he did it back in 2020. Ain't nothing happened to him.
He thought it was at the house.
What happened to him this time, other than that half apology?
Oh, I don't know.
Oh no, they let him go.
Oh, they did.
Oakland Hayes said, "Sayonara, you got to go, sir."
Oh, they did. They dismissed him.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
They had to though. I mean, that's bad. Like you're talking about you're in Oakland and in the Bay Area where the diversity is so.
Did you see also that the guy from the subway has manslaughter charges?
Yeah.
Yeah. That's why they let him go.
He turned himself in.
As he should.
Well, he shouldn't have been able to let me leave anyway, but
should never have.
He took the law in his own hand. That's a problem.
I mean, once he had him down, I don't understand why you got to keep holding.
You're right, Josh. He was initially suspended. You're right.
But I don't understand. Once he's down and everybody else is helping you, like, why don't you just let him go? Like, let him go. Like, why you got to keep choking, dude?
15 minutes.
Well, that's
Well, I mean, he's probably going to try and plead.
American question.
He's probably going to try and plead, not self-defense, but using the PTSD.
Yeah.
No, using that he was mentally unfit.
Mentally insane. Mentally.
I think he's going to try and use insanity defense on that one.
What else? That's what I'm gonna use.
It ain't gonna work.
It ain't gonna work. So yeah,
I can tell you the answer to that right now.
Go ahead, Dana. Why isn't it gonna work? Why isn't it gonna work for Lateef?
Lateef?
Yeah.
He don't have the complexion for protection.
I mean, John Wick looked like a threat the second he wake up. Look at him. He's a threat.
But you could also say you had a flashback to Preakness.
Look.
I told you when he came on the way he said hi to Belinda, we call him Sweet Pea.
What year did the Freaknik actually stop?
95.
95, yeah.
Yeah.
That was the last one.
But why do you know that's the last one, Lateef? That's what I want to know.
No.
Boy, he did state that kind of casually, like.
But
so Ebony, it continued. It continued.
They
but
kept
it wasn't
trying to bring it back. They did bring it back several times.
Right, but it wasn't on 94, 95.
It's the same as like
Black People. It wasn't the same.
They would bring it back from time to time after, but it still was over.
The same effect.
Yeah, it wasn't the same at all. But
no too much Lateef.
But yeah, I don't have the complexion for the protection. I don't. And then they and it's funny because July 1st is the constitutional carry in Florida, and so my son was like, "Yeah, Dad. So I don't even need my consent." I said, "Son, that law is not for us."
Right.
That is.
Please.
Long shot, but I got the reach. Pop lock, now I'm off the leash. Mic drop, I ain't gotta preach. I just do what comes natural. 5-star, everything I see.